Welcome to the Funeral Funds Life Insurance Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Vandervate from Funeral Funds of America, and you can find us at funeralfunds.com. That's funeral, Funds.com. Whether you're interested in term life, whole life, mortgage protection, annuities, disability, business continuation, or final expense life insurance, we have you covered. Our team of experienced professionals will guide you through the complexities of insurance products to help you make an informed decision. In this podcast, I'm going to be discussing understanding final expense life insurance underwriting. And oh my gosh, if that sounds dull to you, you could potentially be right. Unless you're like an insurance geek like myself, who really enjoys this stuff and enjoys helping people. And it's like, I couldn't, some people like being an accountant, but I couldn't count the beans quite as enjoyably as they do. So I do this because I truly enjoy helping people ages, generally 50 to 85 qualify for final expense life insurance so that their loved ones aren't put in a tough financial bind when they pass away. So let's just jump right in. I've got a number of talking points here for you today. The first one is, what is underwriting in final expense life insurance? Well, underwriting is the process the insurance companies use to evaluate applicants for final expense life insurance. And typically, what they're considering is number one, age. Eh, are you 50? Are you 85? Are you 65? Are you 40? We've got plans that we can help everybody from all the way, newborns all the way up to age 89. Typically, final expense, so is on average going to be age 50 to 85. But what they're going to do is they're going to look at your age, they're going to look at your health, they're going to look at medical history, potentially lifestyle, kind of just a whole bunch of relevant factors to help them determine your eligibility. And your eligibility is going to determine what rates you actually pay, your premiums on the policy. Now, one thing that's really important to understand is these policies are called simplified issue. So they're simplified issue underwriting. And what that means is there's no medical exam. Now, no medical exam does not mean no health questions. Now, there are no health question policies out there. We'll talk about those in just a moment, but you really want to avoid those. Those are 2-year waiting period plans, and you do not want a 2-year waiting period plan if you qualify for first day coverage. You've probably seen those TV commercials out there that says for $9.95, you can get 1 unit of coverage, and they're rather entertaining commercials, just the way they're scripted. But yeah, you got to read the fine print. That's $9.95 per unit. And in so many cases, that $9.95, especially as you get older, it might only buy hundreds of dollars of protection. What good is $400 going to do you when you need 10,000, right? So then you have to start adding up units, and it's $9.95 per unit. And before you know it, it's $150, $200 or something. So it just depends on your age and everything, but no health questions. So these plans, simplified issue, has no medical exam. There's no blood test. There's no urine test. There's none of that stuff. Typically, what they're going to do is they're going to check your prescription medical records. And that's super easy to do. Everything's on the computers these days and everything. You give them permission to do that. And what they know is if you're on lisinopril, they know you got high blood pressure. And you don't want to know the good thing? The insurance companies don't care about high blood pressure when we're talking final expense. Oh, what about if you're a diabetic and you're on metformin or insulin? Yeah, no big deal with all the companies we work with. Now, if you were taking Aricept or Donazepam, those are dementia medications. That'd be a different situation right there. Those are serious medications. Same thing like nitroglycerin. Some of the insurance companies are really not too fond of nitroglycerin, but that's just insurance company dependent. If you've got any of those medicines, just reach out to us and we'll be able to help you understand exactly what you qualify for. But yeah, the health questions are very straightforward as a rule. They're just all going to be yes, no. And if you can answer no to all the questions, like have you had a heart attack, or do you have any pending medical procedures coming up? Do you have any upcoming surgeries? Do you have any schizophrenia? Have you had more than 2 cases of cancer in your life? all insurance companies ask different questions. And that's one of the reasons we work with so many different insurance companies, is that they all have kind of niches, and I don't know if they intended to have niches. I think some insurance companies are just, they're more comfortable with certain risks and they build their policies around that. And they know that, there's certain risks that they can accept, that they've learned to manage well, either through the policies or the pricing, and they're more than happy to accept that. And other companies out there are more conservative and it would be an automatic decline. So just keep in mind, if you go to some insurance companies and agents, the they only sell their one product. They're called captive agents. They work for one company. They only sell that one product. And if you don't qualify for the best plan, they're going to dump you into the worst plan, which is truly the worst plan. It's going to have horrible pricing and a 2-year waiting period as a rule. So just we're brokers. We work with a whole bunch of different insurance companies, and we just go through and try to find those companies that let us get certain clients through with first day coverage and the lowest pricing. One other thing with these insurance companies, and specifically the policies for final expense, if you're looking at a term life insurance policy, they're going to ask about like dangerous things you might do, hobbies or occupations. Do you fly an aircraft? Do you jump out of airplanes? Do you rock climb? Do you rappel? Do you scuba dive, drive race cars, all this stuff? Well, most people age 50 to 85 aren't, they're not base jumping off of towers or anything like that. So, yeah, most of the policies that we have, well, in fact, gosh, is there any? Yeah, there's not a single policy. There's a few policies out there. They're going to ask about, criminal records, if you've got any recent criminal things like that. But most of the final expense policies don't even ask about that. Now, you can't get it for somebody who's in jail, but if you just had a driving ticket or something like that, then you're well okay with these programs. So most of them are just going to be health related questions. And again, we're coming back to, well, how do they find out? Well, they check your medical records. There's a company out there called the MIB, Medical Information Bureau. And what they do is they just they store information on all the Americans, and it's kind of like a database. And it's meant to help companies prevent fraud by providing information that's going to let insurance companies perform accurate underwriting. And underwriting just simply means checking your health. So if on an application you said, no, I don't smoke, but you've been talking to your doctor and you tell your doctor you're smoking or chewing tobacco or something like that, the insurance companies are typically going to find that. So the best policy on these policies is always honesty. Honesty is the best policy. Now, some of the companies out there ask about height and weight, and we know that the average American's getting bigger and bigger and bigger out there, and that's a challenge with some insurance companies when people get a little bit too heavy for their height, and it's going to rule some people out of actually a fair amount of companies. But remember how I said, we're brokers. We go and shop around for companies that have specific niches that really help our clients. We've got companies, believe this or not, we've got companies that don't even ask about your height and weight. So you could be 5'1" and 390 pounds. And as long as you don't have any major health issues going on, you're going to qualify for first date coverage. That is pretty cool. So once we understand that you fit all the qualifications for the insurance company, and then comes the underwriting decision. And typically on our end, what we would do some preliminary underwriting at Funeral Funds of America. We want to do that before we even get on the phone with an insurance company or send any of your information in. Typically, we'll read through the entire request for coverage just to make sure that we haven't missed any health questions. And by doing so, our approval rate's right at 100%. The only time we don't get an approval is when somebody doesn't tell us about some health or medical or prescription problem. Maybe they forgot about it. Maybe the doctor prescribed the medication and they never took it or something like that. But by and large, we're getting everybody approved for these plans. So that's fairly straightforward. The one thing you do want to avoid, and I mentioned this a little bit early, is the guaranteed issue policies and also term life insurance. So there's two types of policies out there, term and whole life. So the term life insurance that's targeted at seniors is going to go up in price every 5 years and cancel once you get beyond age 80. We don't recommend that. If you see those commercials out there that say, "Hey, your first premium is only $1 a month," that's the company. That's Globe Life. They're going to offer that, and it's term life insurance. The price is going to go up every 5 years, cancel once you get beyond age 80. It costs less because those policies don't all pay out. Why don't they all pay out? Well, as the price goes up, a lot of times people can't afford to pay the increased premiums. It's because they're on a fixed or limited income, right? Age 50 to 85. So they end up canceling the policy. Now that policy has been nothing but profit for the insurance company. Therefore, they can charge a lower rate. By the same token, if you're blessed to live a long life and you get beyond age 80 and you outlive the policy age requirements on it, now the insurance company just cancels the plan because you outgrew it because you're too old. Now the insurance company just pockets all that money, and it's all profit for the insurance company. That's why those premiums are less expensive. Whole life insurance does cost more. You want to know why? Guaranteed to pay out. It's 100%. As long as you pay your premiums up to the day you die, that policy is going to pay out. So, and with first day coverage, you can make one payment, and if you had a $25,000 policy, they'd have to pay out the $25,000 after just one payment, but not guaranteed issue plans. Guaranteed issues give you guaranteed issues. Guaranteed issue means they don't ask any health or medical questions. Remember, simplified issue is no medical exam. Guaranteed issue is no medical questions. That means theoretically, if you were diagnosed with cancer and told you were going to die within 30 days, you would get approved for one of those policies. It just wouldn't pay out because you died of a health or medical reason in the first 2 years. So we don't recommend those policies out. Colonial Penn, right? $9.95. Yeah, 2-year waiting period, super expensive pricing. All guaranteed issue policies have higher premiums because they're higher risk, because they will accept anyone. And think about it. Who's kind of the shopper that's going to buy, just a policy that's going to cover everyone, no matter what's going on? That's going to be the most unhealthy person in the world. But some people get suckered into buying that insurance because some of these companies have done a great job of convincing people aged 50 to 85 that the only thing to qualify for is a 2-year waiting period. We always go, don't fall for such nonsense. No, 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 no. So regardless, with the simplified underwriting, people often ask us, what's the time frame for the underwriting? Well, almost every company we work with, we can just do it right over the phone and get an answer right over the phone. We've got a couple companies that they're about 80%. We get an approval rate, 80 to 85% immediately day of. If there's something kind of funky going on, it might take a day or 2 or 3 to do some extra underwriting. But by and large, that's the beauty of this. They don't have to request doctor records or medical records or anything like that. You get an answer over the phone. You can choose any billing date you want and just set it up so it's 100% comfortable with you. Now, just understand, though, it does make a difference on who you work with as an agent. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of agents out there that they only work for one company, right? And their policies are really expensive. Lincoln Heritage, good example. Not saying they're a bad company. I'm just saying that their policies are expensive. And the Lincoln Heritage agent can only sell Lincoln Heritage. So just understand that you're going to be better and more well served by working with a broker. And that's what we do at Funeral Funds of America. We work with a whole bunch of different insurance companies to get you the best pricing. Now, I will tell you too, there's there's still companies out there where insurance agents come and visit you in your home. quite often those insurance agents are just starting out. That's like the newbies of the newbies. Boy, that is such a greenhorn job right there. And what they'll do is they'll be restricted to a limited number of companies that they can work with. Sometimes it's only one, sometimes it's only two or three. And if you don't qualify for, the companies that they work with, they're going to put you into a 2-year waiting period plan just because they don't have, the number of choices that we do being a broker at Funeral Funds of America. So I hope that gives you a better understanding of final expense life insurance underwriting. My name is Randy Vandervate, and I hope this podcast has been helpful to you. Funeral Funds of America can help you qualify for first day coverage or benefits at funeralfunds.com. That's funeral, FUNDS.com. And our phone number is 888-862-9456. We will be blessed to help you with this in the future. Until that day comes, stay safe, take care, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.